Swing it on down to our producer, Emily Fox. Emily, give a word to the people.
Well, Chad, I'm out here at my table with the big TV. Don't know what I do over there, but... Pressing buttons.
Oh yes, I went to the tailgate for the lacrosse team, and the parents actually love us. The ones that actually like have kids on the team
Yeah, that's
actually
what I
love
thought.
us. Yeah, we're a beloved group. It's just... Really?
Why are you telling us this? This is so toxic.
Oh, well,
Okay, first of all, who's your mom to speak on this?
Who is my mom?
To speak on us.
Yeah.
She went here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, what'd she say? She hated me or Chad?
Chad.
No, I was fine?
We weren't on, it was the Darien. We weren't there.
Okay.
Why'd she hate me?
She kind of said she didn't like you. That was it. She said you were bad.
That's fair.
That's so mean.
Well, how was I supposed to compare to Shank? You can't do it.
I'm gonna say I think you were better than Shank 19. I'm gonna say it. I didn't watch the whole game, but I liked your positivity and your not being indifferent.
I'm there for the people that just want to see a dumbass try.
Wait, tell me the parents that like us, because I've been getting like support DMs on Instagram and like.
Yeah.
Yeah, who said they don't like you?
What?
Who said that likes you?
So
We're gonna stay. We're gonna stay with our positivity.
Holy shit.
Anyone can do that. You just launch that into the net.
No, but look at who's trying to kill his own teammate.
Are we all off right now?
I need names. I need names of who has slandered us.
No one slander. I've only heard
No one
positivity.
has slandered me with a name to it.
Some anonymous complaints to Mr. Buzzio.
Aussie's
That's all.
Steve Solar angrily DM'd NCTV Instagram after, quote, your call got lost.
Good. About what?
About that I was getting too tight with the racks sometimes.
Too tight with what?
I was too zoomed in on the court. he was just salty when he lost.
Yeah.
I'll read you the DM. It was good.
Because he's such a nice guy usually, too.
He is. So is Max. It's like,
Bro, that kid's like got like potential, but he just can't get it over the net.
If you were a little bit taller, it'd be going over.
He looks like he's trying to show off in warm-ups that he can hit it hard, but he can't hit it over. It's not doing much.
So I want you to comment on that.
Truly unwatchable.
really unwatchable.
That's toxic. Your mom said she didn't like Chad, so
Yeah.
without.
Are you guys ready to go in 30 seconds?
Tell your mom
Yes,
I want
sir.
a more thorough critique.
I will call her right now.
Go for it. At halftime.
Prepared.
Perrin, get yourself prepared, please. Got to be prepared over there. This ought to be fun, Chad. Turn me up a little bit. That's not me. There we go.
What's going on, New Canaan? I'm Chad Russo, joined here by Jackson Easley, and we're here today to call a boys volleyball game. Look, we got Darien, undefeated Darien from last season, taking on the New Canaan boys volleyball team here. It's very good teams here, both undefeated on the season, if I'm correct. And look, I think we're in for a really great one, Jackson. In terms of players on this New Canaan team, who do you think we should be watching?
I got one name for you, Chad. Connor Finnegan. He is just one of the most electric volleyball players that I've seen in all of my time watching the game. Standing at 5'9", first team All FCAC this last year. He's the libero for this team. He's just a real force, just setting up his teammates and really dominating.
And then let's swing it on over to the Darien side. On Darien, I know there are a lot of names, a lot of tall guys on this team. Who do you think we should watch out for?
Well, one of the captains on this Darien team, Luke Bradbury, is a real asset to their team. And he was first team All FCAC last season also. A real excellent player.
Awesome. And I think we're just going to let the starting lineups be announced here, Jackson.
Lucas Smith, opposite. Dan Morrissey, middle hitter. Trevor Herget, outside hitter. Luke Bradbury, outside hitter. And the Darien Blue Wave are coached by Lori LaRusso and assisted by Vera Gonzalez. For your New Canaan Rams, Nick Lamone, outside hitter. Will Larson, middle. Hunter Nelson, outside hitter. Will Webster, middle. Connor Ho, setter. Connor Finnegan, libero. Matt Conan, right side. And the New Canaan Rams are coached by Amy Warren and assisted by Christina Halkemeyer. Now will you please rise for our national anthem?
today.
And what's going on here? We're about to kick off this game. And look, it looks like we're going to be having, I believe, Connor Ho on the serve here.
Connor Ho's a great player. Very tall, standing at six foot, so not very tall for volleyball, but he's definitely a great server. Plays in the club season. He's a great player, Chad.
And we saw him in pregame warm-ups as a setter, and we saw the way he was setting the ball. He was really able to set up his teammates well there. I know it was just practice, but it really looked great. It really looked like a guy they all really trusted him to put the ball in the right place.
Definitely a very high IQ player, great athlete. He also plays basketball, and his stroke from the three-point line definitely translates to volleyball.
That's a beautiful bump there by Lucas Smith. Setting up an excellent block by Matt Homan. What did you see on that play?
Who else to start it off for New Canaan but Matt Homan? This team loves this kid. He's the phenomenal player, the senior. Love to see that type of play from Matt Homan.
And we saw Darien setting up Luke Bradbury there for the attempt. It was very well blocked by Matt Homan. And that's a bump by number 8, Hunter Nelson.
And a bit of an unfortunate sequence for the Rams, but great job by Darien to really capitalize on that bump that just went out of bounds, or went a bit short, rather.
In Jackson, we have Luke Bradbury on the serve here. And you got to believe Connor Finnegan, a little bit disappointed with that bump there, just kind of sailing over the net. He'll definitely be able to hone that in as the game goes on.
Oh yeah, Connor Finnegan definitely is going to be able to bounce back. Just getting started in this game.
Served by Bradbury, bumped by Hunter Nelson, set by Connor Finnegan, and then just lightly tapped there by number 26, Nick Lamone. And that is a kill there by Trevor Herget. Jackson, what did you see on that kill there?
That was a great job by number 17 there, Lucas Smith, using the fake there to set up his teammate Herget for a nice kill. Connor Finnegan's been doing a great job returning them on the New Canaan end, though, and New Canaan's just got to bounce back here, down 3-1.
Bradbury on the serve. Set by Connor Finnegan, bumped by Connor Ho to a Homan spike. And we see Bradbury there going for a little touch, wasn't able to get it over the net.
That's just the sequence the Rams needed. Really anchored by some great play from Finnegan on a nice set. And
Lamone on the serve. Set by Bradbury. That looked like a blocked shot by Hunter Nelson. Jackson, what'd you say?
And, you know, it looked like Finnegan thought that one was not going to go over the net at first, and it kind of caused him to have to readjust, and making the play a little bit more difficult.
Served by McMullen. Spike by Homan. And Herget was able to split through the block there of Homan and Will Webster.
That was an excellent job there by Herget. He's standing at 6'3", Chad. He's a very tall player. He was first team All-FCAC last season. Just really anchors this Darien team as a player that can just spike it over the net.
Yeah, before the game, Jackson, he was definitely a guy they were talking about a lot, as we have McMullen on the serve here. Hunter Nelson getting it over the net, setting up Herget here. It looked like he spiked that one right into the net.
And that's just what New Canaan needs, Chad. They got to keep this game close. We really know that this Darien team can just be a force. They've been running over teams all season. Canaan's got to keep it close, 3-5 right now, but got to stick with it.
Finnegan on the serve. It looked like a little bit of penetration there by Daniel Morrissey, just tapping into the net, getting a little too close, maybe going underneath the net a little bit.
And that was a good job by New Canaan. Just keep up their momentum, win 2 straight.
Serve by Finnegan. And once again, another kill by Herget here. He's definitely the guy they're going to.
Yeah, and Herget's just been that guy all season for the Blue Wave. New Canaan struggled to find an answer for him so far, but they're a great team. They really play as a unit, Chad, and they'll just be able to figure him out as this game goes on and really address those spikes.
Kraus on the serve. The set by Connor Ho. The spike by Homan. It appeared to just be out there.
And a great attempt there by Homan, but good awareness by Darien not to touch it to get the point on that one.
Kraus on the serve. The set by Hunter Nelson. The set by Ho. Nelson on the hit. Looks like that'll just carry out of bounds there. What a play by Hunter Nelson.
Great play by Nelson, but also you got to credit the hustle there from Herget, just chasing that ball out of bounds. That's why he's a captain on this team, Chad. Darien coaching staff cannot speak enough praise about Herget.
Matthew Homan on the serve here. And then we saw that ball just sliding off the hands of McMullen.
And that's rare to see that from him. Usually such a sure-handed player. He was injured earlier this season. That may have been a factor on that play, but otherwise a great job by New Canaan.
A little bit of a bump there by McMullen, setting up a Bradbury attack, saved by Connor Finnegan. The set by Kraus. The spike by Herget there for another kill.
And a great job by Herget, but you got to appreciate the hustle there from Finnegan. I saw him practicing those dives and pregame warm-ups. He really knows how to sprawl out on the court and leave it all out there for his team.
Yeah, Jackson, he definitely surprised us a little bit there, jumping around. Almost slid into one of our legs there. It was a little bit of a surprise as we have Herget on the serve. Bradbury on the kill.
And Chad, that was a pretty thunderous serve there from Herget. I almost thought that we were in the midst of a thunderstorm with how loud that noise was.
Yeah, we saw him there. I'm in Jackson. We can go over the weather. It's 40 degrees, cloudy, just a little bit windy. But that's definitely not going on in here as we see Herget on the serve. And that almost looked like an ace there. I think they might have called it out of bounds.
If that had been inbounds, that would have been a pretty insane serve there from Herget, but New Canaan will get the point on that out of bounds and close Darien's lead. They were going on a bit of a run there, Chad.
Yep, and Nelson on the serve here. Bumped by Herget, set by Kraus, right to a Bradbury spike, blocked out of bounds by Larson there.
And Chad, this is just the matchup we'd expect to see coming into this game. 7-10. It's a close game. Both teams really rallying and fighting, and these points are just going back and forth.
Morrissey on the serve. Tapped by Connor Finnegan for a Limon hit over the net. Set by Kraus to a black spike, saved by Connor Finnegan. To another Limon hit. To a Herget hit out of bounds there, Jackson. What did you see? Was it his angle off? Did he try and hit it too hard? What happened there?
I think he just went for a bit too much there, Chad, but that was all set up by a beautiful spike by Nick Limon. He's just a great player, a junior, 6 foot tall, but he's really come into his own lately, Chad.
Yup, and that was Larson on the serve there. Kraus setting it to Bradbury. Larson with the bump. Limon tapping it over the net with another Bradbury attack. Just blocked there by Homan, or not Homan. I believe it was Will Webster and Connor Ho.
And Will Webster, what a great hit by him to get the point for the Rams. That was a very high IQ play there by him.
Larson on the serve. And it just carried a little long there for him.
And that was a good attempt there by Larson. Just a little bit too long. Happens to the best of us.
And we see Connor Finnegan checking back into the game after that long Larson serve. Smith on the serve. And we saw him struggling a little bit before the game, trying to serve. He served it into the net a couple times like he did there. Definitely a guy, like he has to be able to serve. It's just something you have to be able to do when you're playing this game.
You know, Chad, but this is a high-pressure situation, a rivalry game. You know, some serves are going to hit the net. These players aren't perfect.
And you got to believe Lamone just not really sure what was going on there. The ball just kind of hit the net, wasn't really ready for it. As we now have Bradbury on the serve.
You can't blame Lamone for that one. He was trying his best.
I agree, Jackson. Finnegan on the bump, just carrying a little too long there. Excellent serve by Bradbury. Finnegan just trying to set the bump there.
And with that athleticism on that serve, Bradbury was reminding me of another Bradbury. One James Bradbury, cornerback for the New York Giants, but it's looking good out there.
Yeah, and he's definitely been one of their better servers so far today. Homan's attack there just going a little long, not quite there for the kill.
Great attempt from Homan. He's a great player.
He was always a joy to have in my Spanish class. He sadly dropped out towards the semester mark, but let me tell you, Matt Homan, truly a great kid.
He's a great kid and a great volleyball player. This team really loves him, Chad. He's just a great guy to be around.
And that was a beautiful, beautiful set there by Connor Ho, leading to a Herget blocking the Lamone spike there. What a block by Herget.
And that play by Herget will definitely get his teammates fired up. That was a beauty. Looked like Nick Lamone was set up very well, but he just got his spike directly in the palms of Herget.
And Bradbury, that's the first bad serve we've seen from Bradbury all day, just putting it right into the net.
But you know, Chad, Bradbury's definitely been doing it all out there. Even though that one serve hit the net, he's been great setting up his teammates and even delivering some spikes today.
Lamone on the serve. Right to Bradbury, setting up a Herget spike. That went for the kill.
Well, Chad, that was a pretty gorgeous kill there for Herget. He has several of those today.
Yeah, he's definitely the guy they're setting up. All their sets are geared towards him. We've seen this new Canaan team kind of shifting their defense definitely more towards him. He's definitely Darien's #1 player. Connor Ho on the set. Hunter Nelson on the attack. Kraus setting it up. Looks like a Herget spike. Blocked by Will Webster, but it wasn't quite enough. Getting Darien the kill there.
You got to feel for Connor Finnegan. He's just putting his all out there, diving for that one, but Herget has just been a force.
McMullen on the serve. Now it's just an awkward set there by Lamone.
And I think the pace of these players serving for Darien kind of got Lamone a bit confused there. McMullen kind of serves it with a bit less, velocity than his other teammates like Herget, and McMullen probably was expecting that ball to hit him a little bit of a different way. It just went off his fingertips, but.
Yeah, and Jackson, we saw this game be 11-10 at one point. It was within a one-score game, and Darien just seems to have taken over here as this game's gone on. What have you seen? What has caused them to be able to take over right now?
On the new Canaan end, it's just kind of been a lack of ability to set themselves up for easy spikes. I feel like they've been a bit out of touch on their sets and bumps today, trying to set up their teammates for spikes because they haven't not necessarily gotten the ball where they've wanted it, and it's kind of led to a bit of easier returns to Darien that's set up opportunities for Herget all day long.
And you gotta love the energy coming from the fan base here for New Canaan, getting a little rowdy. I hadn't been to a volleyball game since I've gone to school here, but you gotta love the energy that these people are bringing.
Of course, Chad. A rivalry game like this, New Canaan's fans have to come out and support the team. It's a great team this year, and they definitely have high aspirations.
McMullen on the serve. Set by Lamone. Bumped by Connor Ho to a home and hit. Blocked by Herget. Set up for an attack, which he was able to kill there. Another kill for Herget.
And New Canaan's really just got to find a way to turn the tide a bit. An 8-0 run here for Darien. It's been very difficult for New Canaan to stop anything.
McMullen on the serve to Connor Finnegan. Set by Ho for a Will Webster spike that just seemed to be ricocheted out of bounds off the Darien player. You got to believe New Canaan's happy to get served back here.
Definitely, Chad, and that was a key for them on that point. Got to stop the run and turn the tide on this one before it's too late.
Finnegan on the serve. Bumped by Herget. Set up for a black spike. Oh, sorry, my apologies. A Morrissey spike that went directly into the net.
And you gotta love the play from Finnegan out here. He's just a real great guy. Great passion for the game. If you try to talk to Connor Finnegan about volleyball, he will readily supply you with many of his stories.
Yup, as we see him on the serve here. Set by Cruz. Oh, it looks like he hit it over the net. Set by Ho for a home and attack. That was blocked by Morrissey and Herget. Oh, it looks like Homan got the point there. I thought it might have been blocked back over onto the New Canaan side. I was wrong, clearly.
Never doubt Matthew Homan, Chad.
Cruz on the set. Herget on the hit. I believe Herget got the kill there. He had been going for more heavy spikes, higher velocity hits, and he just seemed to tap that one over there, Jackson.
Real change of pace to kind of confuse that New Canaan defense, but
I think it's very similar to in baseball when you have a guy that can hit 100-mile-per-hour fastballs. When he can just hit you with a little changeup, sometimes he can get the batters a little confused, as we saw an ace there from Cruz.
yeah, that's bring up a great point there, Chad. An excellent analogy.
Set by Lamone. Tapped by Homan over the net. Set by Cruz for a Herget spike. And it looks like it just ricocheted off Larson and Homan there to go out of bounds.
And a tough break for the Rams. They just really haven't been able to put much force on any of their spikes, while Herget is just really getting what he wants out there.
Cruz on the serve to Lamone. Connor Ho on the set. And Homan's attack seemed to just go a little bit wide there.
That's just the kind of look they need to go for, though, Chad. Homan can really put some pace on those spikes, and they're really struggling to get much production otherwise.
The bump by Nelson, the set by Ho. The Nelson shot getting blocked. Set by Finnegan. Hit over by Nelson. The set by Cruz for a black hit there to a Morrissey spike onto Will Larson. What a kill by Daniel Morrissey.
You know that, Chad, that was a really great hit there from Morrison. He's just a real work ethic guy. Morrissey, always in the gym after practice, getting extra reps.
And that's an ace there by Cruz on the serve. Just seemed to ricochet off Hunter Nelson. And look, we saw Darien kind of take over this game there towards the end. It was 10-11. They finished on a 14-4 run. Definitely not something you're looking for if you're New Canaan. What do you think they can do to maybe get back in this one, take back over this game?
You know, Chad, I really think they need to be running their attack through Homan and Finnegan. Homan's been the main player we've seen be able to put any pace on spikes across the net. And, you know, Darien's getting anything they want on their end of the court with Herget, just setting him up for these kills. But if New Canaan can work to get Homan more involved for these spikes, I think he can have some great success.
Yeah, Jackson, I was thinking the same thing. And then on the Darien side, I mean, what do you think Darien's been doing right so far?
It's just been one man show for the Blue Wave, Chad. It's been Herget. Obviously, his teammates have been contributing, but he's the one player who sticks out as just having a real dominating performance out there. Just kill after kill, really propelling his team in that run that took them to win that first game.
Yeah, and I think both of these teams have an excellent core three here. I mean, for the Rams, Connor Ho, Matthew Homan, and Connor Finnegan, that's their core three. Those are the guys. They have the most experience. And then on this Darien side, I mean, It might even be a core four. Bradbury, Herget, and Morrissey have looked really good today. And then McMullen is also a very good libero, as we were told. So look, I mean, both sides have some talent on it, but clearly Darien's talent has shown through a little bit more so far today.
100% Chad. And we're seeing Connor Finnegan over on the sideline, getting his arm taped up. Looked like he was bleeding there. He's been diving all over the court today, Chad. Not surprised that he nicked himself.
I mean, if I had to give a comparison for Connor Finnegan, this one might be a little out of right field here, but Allen Iverson. The way Allen Iverson used to jump around on the court, used to dive out for any ball. We've seen a lot of that from Connor Finnegan here today. And we see it a lot from his brothers that were on the field as well. I mean, his brother Jack and Colin Finnegan, they were always guys. They like to dive around, make the hard plays, and we see a lot of that from Connor here on the volleyball courts.
You know, Chad, I did not think you were going to go the Allen Iverson direction. I was going to compare him to J.J. Watt maybe. The iconic picture comes to mind of J.J. Watt bleeding, you know, when he came back into the game. It's kind of what Finnegan's reminded me of, but, you know, Iverson works.
Yeah, I was kind of go for more of a size thing there, Jackson. The J.J. Watt might not have played too well. But look, I think we're really watching a great game here, Jackson. I think it's important to note that our experience with volleyball doesn't really go too far past the Top Gun movies. So if you're wondering why we sound so unexperienced, that's probably why.
And I'm going to take this moment to do a special thank you to Connor Finnegan, who was a real crucial member of our stats department going into this game. Provided some in-depth research and analysis on both teams, which we're finding very helpful at the moment.
Yes, and he's always been a pivotal member of our stats department. We like to reference them so much here at NCTV. The stats department, we can't do it without them, and they've really done a great job so far today. Shout out to Emily Fox, key member of our stats department, Braden Shank over at Darien High School, and Connor Finnegan.
Of course. Now we got the teams coming back out. Chad, I'm ready for an exciting second game here. Second set, sorry, misspoke there.
And our producer is informing us that it is in fact a set, not in fact a game.
It's very helpful to know.
Thank you, Emily. And it looks like it might be, I believe it will be Bradbury on the serve here. Not quite sure. Looks like they're checking something. A little bit of confusion, maybe just on my part. As Connor Finnegan checks back into the game for Larson. It appears I was correct. It will be Bradbury on the serve here. We've only seen him net the ball once so far today. Set by Lamone, set by Ho to a Lamone spike. The set by Herget for a spike. And it just seemed to inch past Connor Finnegan there for the kill.
And that was just a great kill there by Herget. But I liked seeing New Canaan getting Nick Lamone involved there. Didn't have a ton of success on his spike, but if they can keep getting him involved with those spikes, he could definitely be a force for them.
The set by Lamone, set by Ho to a Will Webster attack that just seemed to go a little too far past the line there.
And you know Will Webster is going to keep his head in this one. Real fierce competitor. Hit a game winner in the Y-ball season. Big three-pointer. He's just a great athlete.
The set by Ho to a Lamone tap just over the block there of Darien. What a play by him.
And that was gorgeous there from Nick Lamone. Said earlier they really need to get him involved. Him and Matt Holman just really have some offensive firepower between the two of them.
And the serve by Ho. Seemed to just bounce off Smith's hands there. The set by Ho to a Will Webster attack that seemed to just go too far again. You have to believe he's trying to maybe shorten up on the distance there.
And you got to credit Connor O'Donnell with the hustle on the Rams end. He practically sprawled out for that one all over the court. Players almost thought it was going to be dead, but he saved it and but Webster was unable to capitalize.
Served by McMullen. The set by Ho. To a Homan attack that just seemed to go a little bit wide there, but it seemed to be off the defender according to the ref's call. That'll be a point for the Rams.
Great eyes, great call there from the official, and even better play on the New Canaan end to keep this one close. They got to prevent Darien from going on a big run again.
And we have Hunter Nelson subbing in for O'Donnell with Lamone on the serve here. The set by Kraus. To a Herget spike right at the leg of Connor Finnegan there for the kill.
And Herget has just been doing that all day, Chad. It's really hard for this New Canaan team to handle him.
We got Cruz on the serve. Set by Finnegan. Hunter Nelson hit. To a Black spike there. What a spike by Austin Black.
Wow, and a great play by Austin Black. Just Darien showing that they have a lot of depth, and it's not just Herget who can spike it over. We've seen many other players step up, make plays.
Cruz on the serve. The set by Hunter Nelson. And you see that pass there by Finnegan just seemed to go a little too far for Homan to be able to spike it over the net.
And I still think that was a great recovery to even put it near Homan on that set by Finnegan.
Cruz on the serve. Ho on the set. The save by McMullen. To a Bradbury attack. Saved there by Lamone. Putt and play by Connor Ho for a Cruz set. To an attack by Herget. To a Hunter Nelson tap over the net. It appears to be called netting on Hunter Nelson.
And you know, Chad, I feel like New Canaan's just really got to find a way to set up for some blocks against Herget. He's really been uncontested on some of these spikes that have resulted in kills. They just got to get a player up there.
Great eyes by the Rams there, being able to see that the serve by Cruz was just going a little too far. And we saw in that first set, when he was serving, that's when they were able to go on. I believe it was a 6 or 7 point run. It's really good to have him not be serving anymore for this Darien team.
And you got to credit Connor Finnegan with the leadership, telling his teammates to stay away from that one.
As we saw him on the serve there, the set to Herget, just for a kill. An easy kill there by Herget. What a play by him.
And New Canaan's really struggled to find an answer for him. Not a ton of height on their side of the court. They do have Will Larson out there, who is 6'6". Maybe trying to line up him in the future for some blocks against Herget.
And we have Herget on the serve here. We saw him serving the ball very hard in pregame and in the game so far. Great save by Lamone, but it went off the top ceiling there. I believe that'll be a point for the Darien Blue Wave.
And Chad, this is just not what New Canaan wanted going into this second set, you know. They're down 6 already. Darien's on a bit of a run. They've got to turn this around and keep it close.
And with the way Herget's serving the ball, it's definitely going to be tough. As he puts it right into the net there. Look, when you serve the ball super fast like he does, sometimes it can be harder to have the control to be able to get it over the net, and we saw that there.
But there's also nothing more powerful, Chad, than the announcer's jinx on that one.
As we have Matt Homan on the serve. Bradbury on the set. To a Black attack that finishes in a kill. What a play by him, just being able to find the center of that Rams defense.
Well, Chad, the Black attack has looked very sharp today.
Oh, nice little rhyming there, Jackson. I see what you did. As we have Morrissey on the serve. Lamone to Connor Ho on the set. To a Will Larson attack, saved by Cruz. A bump by Bradbury over the net, setting up a Hunter Nelson tap where he just seemed to penetrate there, going on to the Blue Wave side. It's not something you can do in volleyball. We see the point going to Darien.
And that set just drifted a little bit far for Nelson. He tried to adjust and tap it over, but kind of a failed opportunity there for the Rams to capitalize. They really needed that one.
Morrissey on the serve. And it looked like they thought it was going to carry a little bit farther than it did, and that was an ace from Morrissey. Morrissey to serve. The bump by Lamone, setting up a Hunter Nelson spike there for the kill. What a play by by Larson.
Gorgeous kill there from Larson. He's the tallest player on this New Canaan roster, standing in the middle, really anchoring it down for his team.
We have Hunter Nelson on the serve here. It just appeared to go slightly out of bounds there over to the left. Definitely not a play he was looking for.
Definitely not, and I believe he'll be checking out here, Chad, but it's an 8-point game. New Canaan can certainly bounce back in this set, but they just really need to show a bit more of a spark on the offensive end. They've really struggled to win any of these points.
Yep, as we see a serve from Smith here. Bumped, set by Connor Ho, to a Will Larson finish over the net. To a block by Will Larson, blocking it onto the Darien side, but it looks to be resulting in a Darien point. Smith again on the serve here. And that was just very far right.
Yes, it was, Chad. Serve not at all on target, and that was a break that New Canaan pretty badly needed after those last few points, including the deflection off Larson that just snaked out of bounds.
Served by Larson here. The set by Cruz to a Bradbury tap. Homan bumping it, setting up Connor Ho to set it to Lamone. And the Darien players blocked it, but it seemed to go out of bounds. What a great play by Lamone, being able to hit it off that Darien block there.
Absolutely gorgeous play there from Lamone. He's got a real bright future for this team, only a junior.
Will Larson on the serve there, setting up a Davenport tap over the net to a Davenport spike. Maybe it was a Bradbury spike. Either way, Darien got a point there.
And you know, Davenport really caught him off guard there, Chad. They were expecting a big block or spike from him. He kind of just tapped it over. Whole New Canaan team was unsettled by that one. Set up an easy spike for him.
Bradbury on the serve here. The bump by Lamone. Connor Ho on the set to a Lamone tap over the net there. Looks like there might have been a little bit of netting, maybe a carry there by Cruz. Either way, New Canaan getting a point.
Now this is New Canaan's opportunity with a host serving to really go on a run. I believe they're checking the score, or fixing the net rather. But New Canaan's just got to get back in this one, Chad. You know, they're playing at home. If they can keep it close, sometimes that home court advantage of these fans out here cheering for your team can give you momentum and really help you in the last few points. But if you're not able to keep it close, then that really doesn't help.
Ho on the serve. What a great serve by Connor Ho there. Really seemed to put this Darien team a little bit off balance. The set by Ho. But just a beautiful block there by Herget, being able to get the kill for his team, being able to get served back. Look, we saw a great serve from Connor Ho there, but it just couldn't result in points.
And Herget can just do it all, Chad. You've seen him with several kills, and now another block for him. It's just really hard to get points for New Canaan when a player like Herget's on the other side.
The save by O'Donnell, setting up a Homan spike there. Homan getting the kill. What a great play by Homan. We just saw him fixing the net, and now we see him fixing up this Rams offense.
Wow, Chad, I like what you did there. Homan's definitely had a great day for them, one of their most productive players on the offensive end. He's just one of the few players out there who's really shown that he can deliver a good spike.
Lamone on the serve here. The set by Cruz to a Herget spike, just seeming to fit through the middle there between Lamone and Connor Finnegan. What a kill by Darien.
That was just a great play by Herget. It's kind of been him all day. You know, he extended the Blue Wave lead here to 8, and looks like it's gonna be difficult for New Canaan to come back this set.
The serve by Cruz. Oh. Might be a redo on the point, something along those lines. I didn't get the chance to hear the call there. Either way, we're going to have Lamone on the serve here. Seems to be a little bit confusion going on at the scorer's table.
No, give the Rams that last point, Chad. So now it's only a 6-point game. Lamone will serve. It's just a great opportunity for the Rams to turn the tide of this set, get back close into this one, and just let your momentum drive you to win on this set.
Lamone on the serve. The set by Herget to a Bradbury attack. The set by Ho. Hunter Nelson just spiking it way too far past the service line. That will be a point for Darien.
And a tough break for New Canaan. They really needed to go on a run there, but looks like there's a bit of discussion after that point.
And we'll see that the point still goes to Darien here. It looked like a little confusion. They thought it hit off the block there of Darien. Maybe hit off Smith, maybe hit off Morrissey. Either way, it looks like it'll be a Darien point with Cruz getting the serve.
And Cruz, one of the smaller players on this Blue Wave roster at 5'11". Doesn't deliver the strongest serve, but
the attack by Homan there being blocked by Herget and Morrissey. We see Finnegan being able to finally block that Herget attack. What a play by Finnegan. The set by Ho. The attack by Homan just going a little wide there. They had the setup there, Jackson. What did you see?
and Holman's just been getting that opportunity all night long, Chad. You know, he's been hitting them a bit to the left. Maybe it's an adjustment that he needs to make, but whatever it is, it's got to happen fast. They're going to come back here.
And we see him going back to Homan there again. Just a beautiful block by Morrissey and Herget. But the Rams are arguing that their hands might have gone over the net there. It doesn't appear they're going to get the call, as Cruz is going to get the serve again. Ho on the set. And it looks like the Darien players just hit it down on their own side there. Morrissey and Black not being able to block it there. Great play there by Hunter Nelson being able to get that point as we have Connor Finnegan on the serve.
Buchanan's got to keep up this momentum and just go on a bit of a run. They cannot let Darien continue to take away this game.
We've seen this trend from the Rams so far here, Jackson, hitting it more towards the middle on these serves. Seems to get Darien a little more uncomfortable. And they've been able to go on a little bit of a run here. They're back in the game, as we saw a beautiful kill there by Matthew Homan, and the ball going back to Connor Finnegan for another serve.
Matthew Homan gestured with his patting his head after that one, looking like Vince Carter just dropping that one on his head.
And you can sense the excitement coming from this Rams team here as they were able to get yet another kill, yet another point. Connor Finnegan on the serve here is definitely a guy they want serving the ball. He's placing the ball really well. Darien seems uncomfortable for probably the first time this game. Jackson, if you're New Canaan, what are you thinking here?
You know, I'm just going to really rely on my senior leadership in moments like this, Chad. Got players out there like Connor Ho, Connor Finnegan, and of course Matthew Homan, who've just really shown that they can come out and give it their all tonight and deliver great performances. Got to lean on guys like that, especially Connor Finnegan, who's been serving and giving them some success.
Yeah, and then let's swing it on over to Darien. If you're Darien, you've kind of slipped here a little bit. What do you think they're doing to try and rein it back in, maybe try and finish off this set?
You probably know what I'm going to say here, Chad, but I think you got to go back to all reliable, and that's your captain, Trevor Herget, who's just done it all for your team so far.
All right, with that concluded, we can see the Rams' excitement here, a little breakdown there, as the ball is going to go back to Connor Finnegan for the serve here. This is the most energy we've seen from the Rams all night. You can really sense it, that this might be a little change in momentum here.
It's all going to start with Finnegan, really the heart and soul of this team, Chad.
Connor Finnegan on the serve. The set by Cruz. The spike by Black, saved there by Connor Ho. leading to a Homan tap over the net. What a beautifully placed tap by Homan. We saw his spike not exactly finishing it so far tonight. Really great change up there by him.
That was a phenomenal change up, and you brought up the pitching analogy earlier. It's like switching from an 100-mile-per-hour fastball there to a 60-mile-per-hour slider.
The hit by Herget. You could just see with the velocity Herget puts on the ball, it can be really hard to return. How would you deal with a player like this, Jackson?
And that's certainly a guy that can deliver a fastball, Chad. You got to rely on Connor Finnegan, your libero there. You try to return it for your team, but, you know, it's very difficult for players to return a shot like that.
And you got to believe, with how great of a player Connor Finnegan is, if he can't return some of these shots, they're just really great shots.
And, you know, they are really great shots, Chad.
The spike by Bradbury, right at the feet of Lamone there for the kill.
That was some great athleticism exhibited there from Bradbury. I didn't know he could get up like that, Chad. He really rose up and spiked that one down hard.
And it looks like Herget's going to be on the serve here. We've seen him serve it into the net twice, but he definitely puts a lot of velocity on these. Great save there by Finnegan, setting up a Hunter Nelson tap over the net there for the attack. Cruz on the set to Black. Connor Ho on the set. Little Hunter Nelson spike there off the block of Morrissey and Black for the point.
And what a huge play there by Nelson to keep his team in this one. And that was all set up by Connor Finnegan with a great bump to return the Herget serve.
Now we have Matthew Homan on the serve here, a guy that's been able to score a lot of points here in this second set for the Rams. The set by Cruz. The set just went a little too short there for Morrissey to be able to hit it, and Will Larson was just able to take advantage there, blocking the ball right back down onto them.
And a great play there by Larson, you know, one of the tallest players on this team, as I've mentioned, standing at 6'6". He was just able to rise up and hit that one straight down into the court.
Homan on the serve. The set by Cruz. Bradbury on the spike, off the block of Connor Ho and Will Larson to a Hunter Nelson attack there. Herget just tapping the ball over the net. Hunter Nelson with the bump. Connor Ho just sending that attack a little too far past the service line.
And a great play there on both ends of the court. New Cannons look like they're really started to pull it together here. Tough play there by Ho, but, you know, it happens to the best of us.
Morrissey on the serve. And you gotta love the energy this Rams team gives when the serve goes out. They scream out, they make sure that the other players on the court know. Maybe it's a little intimidation, maybe it's a little poking fun at the other player for serving it out, but it's definitely great energy coming from this Rams side.
And you know, Chad, they got great leadership on the sidelines with the three senior managers, Alex Walter, Doug Gillespie, and of course Ashton Healy.
As we see Lamone here on the hit, just seemed to hit off his arm there, not where he wanted to place that, it going into the net. 17-23 here, Darien leading. They need 2 more points to finish off this set.
And New Cannon's gone on a bit of a run, but Darien's been able to respond, and this is just a crucial point here for New Cannon. You cannot let Darien get to match point.
Smith on the serve. Finnegan on the bump. The set. Will Larson on the attack, but it is blocked by Darien. Homan on the set to Ho. Lamone on the attack, being able to get the kill off the block of Davenport and Cruz. What a play there by Larson.
And what a play there by Nick Lamone, spiking it over to the Darien side. He looked phenomenal on that one, and that was just what New Canaan needed. You cannot let Darien get to match point this early.
Thanks for the correction there, Jackson, as we saw Larson on the serve to a Davenport spike that was going for a kill. It's now 18-24. 1 more point, and Darien wins this set. And it appears our producer, Emily Fox, got hit by that shot. Definitely not what you want to see as a producer. You want to see a little heads-up play there from her, but I guess things happen. As we have Bradbury on the serve. The bump, the set by Ho. Lamone on the spike, just going off the block there of Darien. Finnegan with the save. Homan getting it over the net. The set by Cruz to Herget on the spike right there at the feet of all the New Canaan players. What an amazing spike there by Herget as he was able to finish off that set. Darien up 2-0 in this game.
And Chad, New Canaan on those last few points looked like they were playing with a purpose. The team really looked like they were just really meshing, obviously giving it all for those last few points as we approached match point. But I'd really like to see that kind of intensity from them on every point in this next set. They've shown that they can hang with this Darien team, but they just give up too many runs, allow Herget to just take over, and it really causes them to suffer these large deficits early in the set.
Yeah, and look, this Darien team is undefeated. They went undefeated last year. They have a culture of being able to win these games, and they've done really well so far this year. And when you're going up against a juggernaut like this Darien team, sometimes it can be easy to get a little stressed out. If you were a player, how would you be managing being down 2-0 to a team like this?
You know, Chad, I would really seek the leadership of manager Ashton Healy out there. I know he was a crucial coach on my Y-ball team this season. Our team made it to the semifinals, which was a very solid run for us. And, you know, Healy was just a real great locker room guy. The team just rallies around a guy like that, and I think he'll be an important factor if this New Canaan team can really get back in this one.
Yeah, Jackson, I think it's interesting you mentioned the team managers here. I think it's really crucial to talk about how everybody kind of plays into a team. It's coaches, it's everyone, and I really like the way you reflected that there. Now going on to this Darien side, it can be a little bit easy to get a little arrogant when you're winning like this. And how do you think they avoid being a little too cocky and taking their foot off the gas?
Well, Chad, I know senior Will Damel will be really talking it over with his team. Doesn't get many minutes, but he's a real high IQ, smart guy. I'm sure he'll talk it over with his team, bring some of his leadership to that huddle, and really let them know what to do. And obviously, on the Darien side, you have Trevor Herget, who's the captain. He's been unstoppable today. I'm sure he will instill the importance of playing with intensity in some of the younger players on their squad.
And you talked about Damo there. I think, how do you know him? You said maybe a potential Dartmouth classmate, if I was correct.
Yes, Chad, that's correct.
And as there's just a little lull in the action here, Jackson, what are you looking forward to at Dartmouth?
You know, Chad, looking forward to some good academics. Now, I'll turn the questions on you. What are you looking forward to next year for the Carnegie Mellon football team?
Well, I think it's going to be an absolute electric factory, Jackson. I think everyone listening to this broadcast should tune in to Carnegie Mellon football next year. Tune in, support me and Barrett Schmitz, two New Canaan alumni as the season goes on. And maybe if anyone can, just come down to beautiful, sunny Pittsburgh. It's not really all that sunny, Jackson, but it's where they shot the Dark Knight with Christian Bale. It's Gotham City. And let me tell you, it's just a great place to be. And all right, we're gonna bring it back into this game. We can't go too hard into Pittsburgh here.
I'm sorry to stop you. Got one more question. So it'll be interesting to see your recovery coming into the Carnegie Mellon season, coming off of that torn ACL in the Turkey Bowl. Obviously, also against Darien. How's the recovery coming along?
Well, with partners like Performance Optimal Health, I know I'm gonna be 100% healthy. I'm ready to go into this season. They're always helpful. I mean, we can't say enough about them. They're really great at helping people in the New Canaan area and other athletes around the country, and just making sure everyone's healthy. They're the best athletes they can be. And Jackson, with people like them, I'm not worried about my knee at all.
And of course, you've also got Walter Stewart's market just really fueling your recovery, your workouts during this off season.
Yeah, I've always made sure to go there. Maybe get an apple, maybe get a banana. I've been making acai bowls recently.
Oh.
Really great, I know. Just getting that fresh local fruit that we have here, making sure I have the right fruit, really helps make those acai bowls, make those smoothies the best they can be.
And of course, you got to rely on Carl Chevrolet. I heard your brakes went out a few weeks ago. Got to rely on them for the repairs so you can make it to these broadcasts, Chad.
Yeah, I got my car from there. I was able to call them up. They were really helpful. They helped refer me to the right people to help me fix my brakes. Made sure I got the right people working on my car. Can't say enough about Carl Chevrolet. I know they're run by two New Canaan alumni and just really overall great people. They help fund a lot of sporting event things here. And just Carl Chevrolet, can't say enough about them.
Of course you can't. And now, third set here, Chad. This is definitely going to be a crucial one for the Rams. needless to say. It's really time for this Rams side to step up, and if you're Darien, you just got to keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, Jackson, I 100% agree with that. And from what we've seen so far, if Homan can bring in some of these attacks that he's had, some of these powerful attacks he's been doing, it could really result in New Canaan winning this set. We saw a couple of blown attacks there where it just went too wide. It wasn't just Homan, there were other players. But look, if some of these shots can start falling for this New Canaan team, they can get a little bit of that energy back we saw in the second set. Could be absolutely lethal. As we have Connor Ho on the serve here. We saw a beautiful serve from him in the second set. And there's the announcer Jinx Jackson. That one carrying just a little far wide there.
Connor Ho was quick to mention that one's on him. You know, he's going to bounce back. He's a great player.
As we have Bradbury with the serve here. The bump by Nelson, the bump by Finnegan. Homan just tapping the ball over the net there. The bump by Bradbury to a bump over the net by Hurgit. To a blocked spike of Will Webster there by Davenport. What a great block there by Davenport.
And that block by Davenport was all set up by some great play by Bradbury. It's been looking more and more like James Bradbury as this game has progressed with the way he's just locked down the volleyball court.
And look, we're going to see him again here on the serve. The set by Finnegan, the bump by Ho, over to Matthew Homan, who was a little out of bounds there. And it looks like he'll be called for it.
And I've reiterated this throughout this game, Chad, but New Canaan getting down to these early deficits has really crushed them so far as a team. Already down 3-0, they need to turn this around.
Yep, and with Bradbury being able to keep serve like he has here, serving it perfectly over the net, this Darien defense has really been able to set up their block, and it's been really hard for New Canaan to get a good attack going. As we have Bradbury on the serve again. The set by Finnegan, passing it over to Homan, who got blocked by Davenport, and it appears Connor Ho just dinked it right there off the head of Will Webster.
Definitely unfortunate to see a dink in a situation like that. And now we already have the Rams down 5. These are the points that you really look back on, Chad, and you know that they were pretty pivotal in the outcome of this one.
Yup, and Bradbury being able to save this serve here. 5 points in a row here for Darien. Homan on the attack. And we've seen multiple plays like that from Homan today, being able to get the kill, just tapping it over the Darien's block there. Doesn't appear there are enough players for Darien being able to go behind the block, and he's been able to make them pay.
And that is just what the Rams needed, Chad. They prevented the Blue Wave from going on a 6-0 run there. Got the ball on their side of the court.
And we saw Connor Ho there touch the ball, being able to stop that Hurgit spike, but you can't double tap the ball. That's why Connor Ho had to pull back there a little bit after tapping it. It's a real shame it didn't get just a little bit more height. And McMullen serves the ball into the net there. Just the opportunity this Rams team needed to get back into the game. 2-6 here. Connor Finnegan on the serve. This is definitely the setup the Rams want. The bump by Smith, setting up Hurgit on a spike right at the feet in the middle of the Rams defense there. No one to be seen where he spiked that.
And Chad, that was clearly the plan for them all the way going into that one. The second the ball crossed the Darien side, you saw Hurgit setting up for that spike.
Yeah, Jackson's, we see Cruz on the serve here. And it looked like a little bit of confusion there. Larson being able to tap it over the net. We saw Hunter Nelson being able to approach the net. Maybe they thought Hunter Nelson was setting up for a spike. But Larson having the ability just to tap the ball there, just dink it right over that Darien defense. Looked really good as Homan serves the ball here. Hurgit on the attack. Just off the fingertips there of Finnegan. Really got to love seeing him give his all there, but it was just off his fingertips.
Chad, we've seen Finnegan really just giving it his all day long. He's really looked phenomenal out there, but I'm sure his body's going to be aching after this one.
For sure, Jackson, as we have Herget on the serve again here. Hunter Nelson on the bump over the net, just going past the service line there. Herget with the awareness not to touch that ball.
Just a bit too much there from Nelson. And Darien's beginning to really run away with this set.
Herget on the serve. Just a little too far there, going past the service line. When you have as much power as him, maybe a little easier there to just serve it a little too far.
You know, Chad, he's going for the winners every time. With power like he can deliver, that's not a bad idea, but that one just sailed on him.
Nelson on the serve. The bump by Herget, the set by Cruz. To a black spike there at the feet of Hunter Nelson. And that will put Darien up 10-4 here in the third set.
And there's the black attack again. He's just really been a menace for them, spiking the ball on New Canaan's head all day long.
Yup, as we have Daniel Morrissey on the serve here. Morrissey. The bump by Lamone. The set by Connor Ho. To a Lamone spike there right off the head of Davenport.
Lamone's looked great today, Chad. He's had several of those. Just been one of the few players on this New Canaan roster today that's really been able to deliver big spikes that have resulted in points.
Larson on the serve. And that's not what you want to see in a situation like this. Serving it into the net there was Larson, and just a little too short, just not enough power there. As I believe we're going to see Smith serve the ball here next. Thought it might have been McMullen, but it appears it'll be Smith. The set by Ho, over to Lamone for a spike off the top of that block of Darien. To a Bradbury spike there, just into the block of Will Webster and Connor Ho, not being able to block that back over to the Darien side.
And Chad, we saw a powerful spike from Lamone there, but an even better play by Bradbury to really recover well and force the ball in the New Canaan court.
And we see a great serve there by Smith, with Bradbury just returning the ball barely onto that New Canaan side. Herget bumping it over to Bradbury again. The save set by O'Donnell to a Lamone tap over the net. Cruz with the set over to Bradbury. Bradbury just spiking it slightly over to the left there, out of bounds.
And that went out of bounds there, Chad, but you can just tell this Darien team plays together a lot. They've really been gelling today. Great communication. They move the ball well amongst each other, and every player is really just ready to step up and deliver a spike when needed.
And there appears to be a little bit of confusion here. It appears that they called it out of bounds off of Connor Ho as Smith gets the serve again. What a save there by McMullen. Herget being able to bounce it back over to the Rams side. And Bradbury just rising up there, being able to block Connor Ho, who I don't believe saw him coming. Really just a great play there by Bradbury.
And Connor Ho with a good attempt there, but he's shaking his head after that one. He meant to set that one up right above him, I think, and it just went a bit far right.
As we saw a serve out of bounds there by Smith. Some of his serves have just been barely going over the net there. It was bound to happen. But look, it's 6-14 here, Jackson. 8-point lead for Darien. Connor Ho might need to take over this game with his serves. And it appears to be in another announcer curse there. I'm just doing it all over the place, Jackson.
Chad, he needed to take over there, but he was unable to do so. And Darien's just running away with this one. It's a 9-point game.
Bradbury on the serve here. The bump by Lamone. The set by Ho to Homan there. What a great spike by Homan off Smith. That's a great kill right there. As we see Osasu on the sideline hyping up Matt Homan, doing the little head tap again that we've seen so many times from the Rams.
100%, Chad. What a fantastic play there by Matt Hellman. He's really shown that he could do that tonight, but Buchanan just failed to bring it like that on every single point, and overall the play by Darien, it really seems to overpower them today.
And we see Herget going for the little change up there that we've seen Homan do so well today. Maybe not quite the player that Homan was on that play.
Maybe not quite, but he couldn't quite tap that one over. A bit too soft of a touch.
What a great serve there by Lamone, just going right at the feet there of Herget, just rolling the ball over the net. Might have been intentional, might have been unintentional. Either way, a great play as we get to see Lamone serve again.
And Chad, we'll go with saying that that was intentional.
We can see a little bit of the excitement there boiling over in Lamone, maybe putting a little too much power there, just shooting it right past the service line.
Just a bit too much.
McMullen on the serve. The set by Ho, over to Hunter Nelson for a little bit of a spike there. Cruz with the set. Herget with a little bit of a spike there on the attack. The tap by Homan once again. And it looks like something was illegal. Maybe a double touch there by McMullen. What a great play there by Homan, though. Getting the ball over the net. He did that change up once again that we've talked about, and it really looked great there.
And I believe McMullen looked like he caught that ball a bit too much. Had it in his hands for too long, Chad.
Cruz on the set. And Morrissey appeared to be blocked there by Will Larson. And the block again by Homan and Larson. As we see, Darien might have gone over the line there, might have penetrated the New Canaan side. As New Canaan gets a point, it's a 5-point game now, 11-6.
Connor Finnegan is going to be serving, Chad, and he's just the kind of guy that they want.
And we see momentum coming for this Rams team as Smith hits the ball out of bounds into his own bench. It's now a 4-point game. The Rams on a little bit of a run here as we saw them down by 9 earlier.
Rams playing like the team we know that they are right now, Chad. Everyone's really meshing. The team's looking great.
Herget on the spike, blocked there by Larson and Homan. Herget on the set. Bradbury on the spike, blocked again by Homan and Larson. What a couple plays we've seen there from them.
And Larson does a great job there using his length, his size, to really just rise up and deliver the block there.
Yeah, and the way this looks to me, Jackson, it happens a lot in baseball. Hate to keep making baseball analogies, but when you have a team that finally sees a pitcher, right, when they can see the ball and they can see what's going on, that really seems to be what's happening here with Herget. They're finally rising up to block these massive spikes he's been doing all day, and it looks like they're timing up their jumps a lot better with his higher velocity hits here.
Definitely, Chad. They've really adapted as the game has gone on to being able to really address his play, and it's really come through Larson, who obviously a multi-sport athlete. He's also a basketball player, which is not hard to figure out given his size, but he's really been able to do a great job rising up in the center for the Rams, getting some blocks, getting some spikes.
Most definitely, sir. Alrighty, and it looks like we're going to see Connor Finnegan back out there again to serve. See if there's any changes here on the Darien side. It looks like the same group of guys are in for both sides. You got to believe there's a little bit of confidence on both sides in their lineups. Finnegan on the serve. The bump by Bradbury over to Herget for a spike. And that one really seemed to come down on the Rams. Might have changed up his angle a little bit there.
And that's a trend we've seen all game long, Chad. Buchanan starts to go on a run, and then a Herget just really steps up and takes over for this Blue Wave team.
Cruz on the serve. The bump by Nelson. The tap by Ho. Connor Finnegan on the bump. The pass over to Will Larson. And it appeared like Black almost tried to catch that ball as we see the Rams get another kill. The game is now 13-7. This set is within reach for the Rams.
And how about the junior Will Larson, Chad? He has just stepped up in a major way during this set, really doing it all for his team in the center.
Matthew Homan on the serve. The set by Cruz over to Herget with a little bit of a change up there. We see him finally able to hone that in, just having it go for a kill there. You can see a little bit of disappointment there by Matthew Homan.
And Homan did not see that one coming. Bit of a change up there for Herget. He just, the feathery soft touch on that one to sink it right into the New Canaan court.
Herget with the serve. And we've seen that a lot from him so far today, Jackson. Maybe going for a little too much power, going for those kills. And he's serving it like he's spiking it. And he's hit it into the net, I believe, 3 or 4 times today.
And you know, Chad, sometimes a loud sound does not necessarily translate to a good serve.
The set by Cruz. Over to Bradbury, just right there. Not exactly where they expected to see that ball go. And we see the Darien Blue Wave getting the kill.
Chad, I want to go back to my previous comment and say that sometimes a loud sound does, in fact, result in a good shot. That was an excellent spike there from Bradbury.
Daniel Morrissey on the serve. The set by Finnegan. The bump by Ho over to Lamone with a little bit of a dink there over the net. The set by Ho. Setting up Lamone for a spike right off the face of Morrissey. And that's a great play there by Lamone. Getting the Rams back into this one, 16-19 here in the third set.
And how about Nick Lamone, Chad, looking like Ja Morant out there, rising up. I would not be surprised if he has a vertical around 33 inches.
And we have Larson on the serve here. We saw him serve it into the net before. It just looks like he's not able to get quite the touch he wants there yet again.
He's a tall guy, Chad. He can get over that ball, but just the finesse has not been there for him today.
And it looks like we're going to have Lucas Smith here on the serve for the Darien Blue Wave. The set by Bradbury. The set by Connor Ho over to Lamone for another spike off the block of Davenport and Cruz there. Lamone really seeming to take over this game, similar to Herget for Darien.
And Chad, it has just been the Lamone show out there. He has come to play during this set, and he has really delivered with some great spikes that his team has needed.
Connor Ho on the serve. The set by Cruz. Over to Bradbury for the spike, just bouncing off Will Webster and Homan there.
Great job by Webster and Holman going for the block. They know Bradbury's really been delivering those spikes today, but just not angled quite right on the hands, and it ended up deflecting out of bounds.
Bradbury on the serve. The bump by Finnegan. The set by Ho. Over to Lamone. Called in by the official. There seems to be a little bit of questioning here from the Darien side. But this game is now 18-21. To remind the viewers at home, it goes to 25. And this is definitely a close one here in the third set. Closest set we've seen so far, Jackson.
Certainly, Chad. And I'm not sure why there was so much confusion on that one. It looked like it was pretty clear-cut into me.
Lamone on the serve. Just a little too far there from Lamone. Maybe a little excited from some of his more powerful hits here today. As it looks like it's going to be McMullen on the serve. A senior captain, junior captain, my apologies. A guy you definitely want having control of the ball here towards the end of the game.
Chad, he has not served with much pace today, though. I would not be surprised if the Rams team is able to take advantage of him serving right now.
The serve by McMullen. I believe they're saying that McMullen stepped over the line there on his serve. I'm not sure how he quite could have done that, just standing there on his serve, not really jumping much. But look, that's the kind of the break the Rams needed now. 19-22. Connor Finnegan on the serve here. Cruz on the set. Over to Harrogate. And that is a point there for the New Canaan Rams. They say that Harrogate's spike just went a little too far outside there. His attack not being able to go for the kill. And you can feel the energy on the side for the Rams here. Jackson, what have you seen from the Rams that has looked so good so far?
Chad, the two juniors have stepped up this set. We're looking at Will Larson and Nick Lamone. Nick Lamone has looked absolutely phenomenal, just rising up, spiking the ball down. Will Larson has used his great tall frame to really be a good middle hitter for this team, blocking the shots from players like Herget. And we've just really seen those juniors step up, obviously supplemented by the play from Matt Holman and Connor Finnegan. And this Rams team has bounced back to be in this one.
And then on the Darien side, Jackson, how do you think they can finish off this game? They need 3 more points. They need to keep the Rams within distance, it only being a two-point game now.
You know, Herget's been great all game long. They've been finding ways to respond to him, but when he hasn't been able to step up, you know, Bradbury's been there delivering spikes. So on the backs of those two players, I'm sure the Blue Wave will have no trouble keeping this a tight game.
And we bring it back now. Connor Finnegan with control of the ball here. He'll be serving it. He's a senior captain, a guy going to Santa Clara over in California to play some volleyball. Definitely a guy they trust. And we'll see him on the serve right here. The set by Cruz. Over to Herget for the spike. And it appears that Connor Finnegan just might have misjudged that one a little bit. Thought it was going closer to the floor, and it just tapped off his shoulder.
That one really rocketed at him, Chad. Can't blame Finnegan for that one deflecting off his shoulder.
Cruz on the serve. The bump by Lamone. Over to Larson. Off the arms of Cruz there. As you said before, Larson with another great kill for the Rams.
Absolutely gorgeous there from Larson.
Matt Homan to serve here. The set by Cruz over to Herget with just a little tap there. They thought he was going to spike it, but he just tapped it over the net. The Rams defense tried to respond, but it wasn't enough as Darien pulls ahead 24-21.
Chad, that's huge for the Blue Wave. If New Canaan was able to score a few points before Darien got into the game point, we could be looking at a very different set here.
I don't know the volleyball term for this, Jackson, but I believe it is match point. And that appears to be game here, Jackson. What a beautiful serve by Herget to be able to finish off this one. You got to believe the Rams are a little disappointed, but with the way they fought back there in that third set, you got to believe there's a little bit of pride.
Certainly, Chad. The Rams weren't about to go down easily. They really fought hard during that last set and gave it their all. They played like that for the first two. They really struggled to adjust to this Darien team, but they were facing a really talented Blue Wave roster, so you cannot fault them.
And when you look at this Blue Wave team, just a really tall group of guys, a lot of guys that were able to rise up above the net, being able to get a lot bigger spikes there, and that really just seemed to pay off for them today.
Yeah, you know, Chad, Davenport, Herget, and of course Bradbury just really shined tonight. Looked great out there.
Yep, and I think that's it for us here at the beautiful New Canaan gym. It's a beautiful 40 degrees outside. It's going to be an interesting drive home, Jackson. But you got to believe an 0-3 win here. 0-3 loss for the Rams, not something they wanted to see. But look, they're going to look to bounce back in a couple more games. I'm sure they'll see this Darien team again, and they'll be able to adjust and build off that third set. That's it from us here. Yeah, it's been Jackson Easley, Chad Russo, having a great time. Oh, wait, and how could we forget to do our sponsors, Jackson? We're going to roll into them here. Walter Stewart's. They are one of our platinum sponsors. I don't have the screen in front of me here, okay, so Walter Stewart's, they're your fresh local market. They're where you go. You want to get fruits, you want to get vegetables, you go to Walter Stewart's. Rambuya and Harrow Real Estate, they're the premier real estate partner of Fairfield County. Great service, great people, always a pleasure to work with. and Carl Chevrolet. We talked about them at the break between the second and third set. Run by two alumni here of New Canaan High School. Two really great guys. They helped me with my car when my brakes weren't working. They got my brother his beautiful Chevy Colorado. All around a great company. And William J. Fessler Family Dentistry. They're a great place to go. Everyone in your family will be comfortable talking to William J. Fessler. He's a great guy for the kids, for you, anyone. He's a great conversationalist. Smile, you're in good hands with William J. Fessler. And now on to the gold sponsors. Renaissance Partners LLC. Not much to say. I have a ton to say about Renaissance Partners LLC. They're a New Canaan-based company. They build up a lot of this Fairfield County area. Truly a great place. I'm sure you've been in one of their buildings before. And Performance Optimal Health. I talked about them at the break too. I mean, look, I know I'm rehabbing my ACL with them. They're a great company, great place to go if you really want to get fixed up. And look, they have great service there, and they're one of the best places in all of Fairfield County for just for your performance therapy needs. Thank you to all of our sponsors. They make this all possible, and I think that's it for us here.
And a special thank you, Chad, of course, to our stats department for really delivering those game day insights that we needed for this broadcast.
Yes, let's just finish it off here. Thank you to Perrin Tomasco for being on the camera. Emily Fox is our producer. Braden Shank is a major member of our stats department. And Connor Finnegan once again for helping us out with some of the terms and some of the player names here today.